My initial usage of the Realme X50, it has 5G, the brand new Snapdragon 765G, but is the Realme X2 Pro maybe a better deal for you if there's no 5G in your market right now? It comes in this really bold Realme yellow box, X50 5G with that integrated 5G modem on the brand new Snapdragon 765G. It's a mid-range chipset from Snapdragon, and Realme are one of the first to use this chipset. That means that the chipset is, at the moment, expensive to buy. Because of that, there are some compromises in the phone. Maybe the Realme X2 Pro is a better deal for you, even though it only has 4G. The LCD screen at the moment necessitates a side-mounted fingerprint sensor. Quick, convenient, easy to use, but I would be using the face unlocking. No Sony IMX686 in this one. It uses the Samsung GW1 sensor. That's not necessarily a terrible thing. I will be comparing it to, for example, the Redmi K30, so subscribe if you want to see that. A big omission for some, no headphone jack. Absolutely no headphone jack. You have to buy wireless or Bluetooth earphones. But something they've added is Realme UI. No more Color OS. Realme are taking their first steps towards their own operating system on top of Android. There are definite differences at the moment, mostly just in the design of the UI. You can set the screen to auto, but I'll just put it in 120 Hz all the time. Yes, there is some ghosting up around the cutout. It's an LCD display and that's going to happen. You can see versus the Realme X2 Pro, some of the icons are designed differently, and this pull down menu also has a different design. Of course, we have a 120 Hz LCD display versus a 90 Hz OLED display on the Realme X2 Pro. I still think the Realme X2 Pro is a fantastic deal. And I know a lot of you guys will prefer a 90 Hz OLED screen over a 120 Hz LCD screen. The X2 Pro definitely has smaller bezels as well. And we have a cutout versus a water drop notch on the two phones. I will put both of these up on a speed test up against each other to show you guys just the difference between the Snapdragon 855 Plus and the brand new Snapdragon 765G. Again, subscribe if you want to see that. But something I really like about Oppo and also the Realme UI now is this sidebar where you can put shortcuts. It's really convenient. 30-watt fast charging with the 4200 mAh battery, and the quad camera at the back, 64 megapixel mode is right by the photo mode as it should be. You get an ultra wide, a proper 2x zoom, and also a macro sensor as well. That camera setup does echo the setup on the X2 Pro. The Realme X50 though adds an ultra wide camera to the front, which is definitely a good function to have. And I think Realme have some of the best edge detection for portrait shots. Realme have also added something called Super Rock Steady UI, but it is essentially adding some stabilization to your video. Actually, what it does is just change the frames per second from 30 frames per second up to 60 frames a second. Here's the difference. Let me know if you can see it. I must admit the screen is not the brightest screen that I've ever seen. It is okay, but I would prefer it to be a little bit brighter. When it comes to PUBG, you've got the new 765G mid-range chipset and a 120 Hz display. You can play it on high refresh rate mode, but there is an extra mode, at least in China, that says 90 Hz, and you can't get it on this device. You can get it on the Realme X2 Pro though. So what is less obtrusive during gaming, the water drop notch or the cutout? The cutout in this position is good because it really is just blocked by your thumb anyway, but the same can be said for the water drop notch on the Realme X2 Pro. You get a mono speaker at the bottom, plenty loud enough, and I thought the gaming experience was very good, but as I said, the Realme X2 Pro just gives you that extra high frame rate mode, something that as yet this phone doesn't give you. This is of course a competitor to the Redmi K30, although there are some big differences in the setup. Again, subscribe if you want to see some comparisons between these two phones. Subscribe for all the latest tech news and tech videos. That's it for now, but I'll see you in the next one.